Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshadarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome back to Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers reading session, day 3. So today I think we'll complete this book because only three more chapters are left. So and again today I'll be I'll be the other person, either Bob or an Indian gentleman or some other character that is different from Śrīla Prabhupāda, and Śrīla Prabhupāda thing my brother reads it. So let's start today's thing. So chapter 7, Acting and Knowledge of Krishna. This was happened in Mayapur, India on February 29, 1972. So we'll just continue the previous chapter. So an Indian gentleman. By what kind of actions does one earn good karma?
Śrīla Prabhupāda. Good karma means what is prescribed in the Vedas. Specifically, it is prescribed that one should perform yajna. Yajna means actions for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, good karma means performance of the yajnas as they are prescribed in the Vedic literatures. A good law-abiding citizen is one whose actions satisfy the government. So, good karma is action that satisfies Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, modern people do not know what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, what to speak of satisfying Him. They are simply busy with material activities. Therefore, all of them are performing only at karma and therefore suffering. They are blind men leading other blind men, and all of them suffering by bad karma. That is very easy to understand. If you do something criminal, you will suffer. If you do something benevolent for the state, for the people, then you are recognized. You are sometimes given a title. This is good and bad karma. So, by good karma, you enjoy some material happiness, and by bad karma, you will suffer from material distress. By good karma, you will get birth in good family, you get riches, good money, then you become a learned scholar, you become you become beautiful also.
Wow. What about the person who's not very aware of God but
Then he's an animal. A person who doesn't know what is a god, or one who does not try to understand what is God, is an animal.
what about innocent people?
The animal is very innocent. If you cut its throat, it won't protest. So innocence is not a very good qualification. Our proposition is that one must be very intelligent, and then he can understand Krishna. To become an innocent, ignorant simpleton is not a very good qualification. Simplicity is all right, but one should not be unintelligent.
Can you tell me what intelligence is?
Intelligence means to know what one is, what this world is, what God is, and what their interrelations are. The animal does not know what he is, he thinks that he is the body. Similarly, anyone who does not know what he is not intelligent.
Wow. What about a person who tries to do what is right and is very conscientious about the things he does? Like the servant who is very honest to his master but knows that if he were not honest, he would not be caught. If a person like that stays honest, is that some kind of good karma?
Yes, to become honest is also a good karma. How to become a good man is prescribed in Bhagavad Gita very elaborately. Daivi sampad vinakasya
Vimokshasya. Vimokshaya.
vimokshasya vimokshaya nibandhana
Nibandhaya Shurimatha.
shurimatha. So, if you become qualified with Daiva sampad, transcendental qualities, then vimokshaya, you will be liberated. And nibandhanasya suri, Nibandhaya Suri. If you have demonic qualities, you will be more and more entangled. Unfortunately, modern people do not know what liberation and what is entanglement. They are so ignorant, they do not know. If I ask you what liberation is, can you answer? No answer. And if I ask you what is entanglement is, can you answer? Again, no answer. These words are there in the Vedic literature, liberation and entanglement. But at present moment, people do not know what they mean. They are so ignorant and foolish, and still they are proud of their advancement in knowledge. You are a professor, a teacher. Can you explain what liberation is?
Not adequately, because if I could explain it, then I would become liberated very fast.
But if you don't know what liberation is, then where is the question of fast or slow liberation? You should first know what liberation is. If you do not know where the train is going, then what is the use of knowing whether it is going fast or slow? So, what is liberation? You daily ask me. Now I am asking you.
Okay, let me think for a moment.
Liberation is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The exact Sanskrit word for liberation is mukti. So, that is defined in the Srimad Bhagavatam. मुक्तेर्हित्वन्त्य मुक्तेर्हित्वन्तरूपं स्वरूपेण व्य-
Vyavasthita.
व्यवस्थिता. One should stop doing all nonsense and become situated in his original position. That is liberation. Unfortunately, today nobody knows his original position or how to act properly in that position. The modern population is so ignorant about their life. It is a very awkward position. They do not know.
Can you tell me who is honest?
If one does not know what is honesty, how can he be honest? But if you know what is honest, then you can be honest. What is honesty? First of all, explain.
I would say that honesty is doing what you really feel is right.
A thief is feeling, I must steal to provide for my children. It is right. Does it mean that he is honest? The butcher thinks, I must cut the throat of the animals daily. It is my livelihood. Narada Muni once met an hunter and asked him, why are you killing in this way? And he said, oh, it is my business. My father taught it to me. The hunter was honestly doing his work. So, if feeling of honesty depends on culture, a thief culture is different from ours. He thinks stealing is honest.
So, what is honesty?
Yes, that is my question. Real honesty is that you should not encroach upon another's property. That this is honesty. For instance, this is my table. If you want to take it away, is that honesty? Therefore, the simple definition of honesty is that you should not encroach upon another's right. That is honesty.
So, somebody who's honest would be in the mode of goodness. Would that be correct?
Certainly, because the mode of goodness means knowledge. So if you know that this table does not belong to me, it belongs to Swamiji. You will not try to take it away. Therefore, one must know to whom things belong, then he can be honest.
You have said that the mode of goodness was no knowledge of God, but somebody may be honest without having very much knowledge of God, without thinking they are honest, because it's God's wish. They just feel like they ought to be honest.
God wishes everyone to be honest. Why should God think otherwise?
Can you follow God's wishes without knowing you're following God's wishes?
No. Following without knowing, that is absurd. You must know the order of God, and if you follow that, then that is honesty.
So somebody cannot really be honest without knowing God.
Yes, because God is the supreme proprietor, the supreme enjoyer, and the supreme friend. That is the statement of Bhagavad Gita. If anyone knows that these three things, then he is in full knowledge. These three things only. That God is the proprietor of everything, God is friend of everyone, and God is the enjoyer of everything. For example, everyone knows that in the body, the stomach is the enjoyer, not the hands, legs, eyes, ears. These are there simply to help the stomach. For example, the eyes. The vulture goes 7 miles up to see up where there is food. Then the wings fly there, and the jaws catch the food. But the ultimate enjoyer of the food is stomach. Is it not?
That is so.
Similarly, as in the body, the stomach is the enjoyer, the central figure of the whole cosmic manifestation, material or spiritual, is Krishna, God. He is the enjoyer. We can understand that just by considering our own bodies. The body is also a creation. The body has the same mechanical nature you will find in the whole universe. The same mechanical arrangement will be found anywhere you go, even in animals. In the human body or in the cosmic manifestation, almost the same mechanism. So you can understand very easily that in the body, any body, your body, the stomach is the enjoyer. There is a central enjoyer, and the stomach is the friend also. Because if you cannot digest food, you see, then all other limbs of the body become weak. Therefore, the stomach is the friend. It is digesting and distributing the energy to all the limbs of the body. Is it not?
Yes, it is so.
Similarly, the central stomach of the whole creation is God or Krishna. He is the enjoyer, he is the friend, and as the supreme proprietor is maintaining everyone, just as a king can maintain the whole country's citizen because he is the proprietor. Without being the proprietor, how can one become everyone's friend? So these things have to be understood. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and Krishna is the supreme friend. If you know that these three things, then your knowledge is full. You do not require to understand anything more. Yasmin vijñate sarvam evam vijñatam bhavati. If you simply understand Krishna by this formula, then your knowledge is complete. You do not require any more knowledge. But people will not agree. Why should Krishna to be proprietor? Hitler should be the proprietor. Nixon. That is going on. Therefore, you are in trouble. But if you understand these three things only, then your knowledge is complete. But we will not accept. We will put forward so many impediments to understanding these three things, and that is the one which causes our trouble. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna plainly says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram sudram sarvabhutanam jnanamam
Sat
jnanamam
Nyatva mam santim
rachati.
pritchati.
A person in full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and the welfisher of the all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. But we don't take this. We put forward so many false proprietors, false friends, and false enjoyers, and they fight one another. This is the situation of the world. If people would take this knowledge, there would be immediately be peace.
Shantim
Shantim
pritchati.
Rachati. This is knowledge, and if anyone follows this principle, he is honest. He does not claim it is mine. He knows everything is Krishna's, so therefore everything should be utilized for Krishna's service. That is honesty. If this pencil belongs to me, the etiquette is for my students is to ask, can I use this pencil? Then I will reply, yes, you can. Similarly, if I know that everything belongs to Krishna, I will not use anything without his permission. That is honesty and that is knowledge. One who does not know this is ignorant, he is foolish, and a foolish man commits crimes. All criminals are foolish men. Out of ignorance, one breaks the law. So, ignorance is not a bliss, but is folly to be wise where ignorance is bliss. That is difficulty. The whole world is enjoying ignorance. And when you talk about Krishna consciousness, they do not very much appreciate it. If I say, Krishna is the proprietor, you are not the proprietor, you will not be very much satisfied.
Hmm.
Just see, ignorance is bliss. So it is my foolishness to say the real truth. Therefore, it is folly to be wise when ignorance is a bliss. So we are taking the risk of offending people. and they think we are fools. If I say rich man, you are not the proprietor, Krishna is the proprietor. So whatever money you have, spend it for Krishna. He will be angry.
The
Upadesho
Upadesho
hi
hi
murkhanam
Murkhanam Prabhopyanam
prapokyana
Shantaye.
santaye. If you instruct a rascal, he will become angry. Therefore, we go as beggars. My dear sir, you are very nice man. I am the sannyasi beggar. So I want to construct a temple. Can you spare some money? So he will think, oh, here is a beggar, give him some money. But I say, dear sir, you have millions of dollars at your disposal. That is Krishna's money. Give it to me. I am Krishna's servant. Oh, he will chase me away. He will not be very satisfied. Rather, if I go as a beggar, he will give me something. And if I tell him the truth, he will not give me a farthing. We convince him as beggars. We are not beggars, we are Krishna's servants. For ourselves, we don't want anything from anyone because we know Krishna will provide everything. This is knowledge. For instance, a child will sometimes take $100 bill, or so we have to flatter him. Oh, you are so nice. Please take this lozenges and give me that paper. It is nothing, it is paper. And he will say, oh, yes, they take. That's nice. And he returns the $100 note for penny sweets. So we have to beg people in that way. Why? Because a man will go to hell by taking Krishna's money. So some way or other take some money from him and engage him in the Krishna consciousness movement.
And then he may not go to hell.
Yes, you save him from going to hell because a farthing spent for Krishna will be noted by him. Oh, this man has given a farthing. This is called Ajnata
Ajnata Sukriti.
Sukriti. Ajnata Sukriti. Devotional service performed unknowingly. People are generally very poor in their thought. Therefore, the saintly person move among them just to enlighten them a little, to give them a chance to serve Krishna. That is the saintly person's duty. But if someone takes money from the others and utilizes it for his own sense gratification, then he goes to hell. Then he is finished. He is a cheater, a criminal. You cannot take a farthing from anyone and use it for your own sense gratification.
I think of people I know who are not Krishna conscious.
Krishna means God.
They're just slightly God conscious, but still, these people are honest to the extent that they don't take from other people at all, and they try to be honest with other people.
They do not take from other people, but they take from God.
So these people are half good.
Not good.
Hmm.
If you don't learn this principle that God is the proprietor, they cannot be good.
I'm thinking of poor people who need money and food but do not commit crimes to get it. Everybody around them may be stealing, but they still stand up and don't steal. These people somehow deserve something and good to happen to them.
But the man who is thinking is not stealing is also thief because he does not know that everything belongs to Krishna. Therefore, whatever he is accepting he is stealing.
Is he less of a thief?
You may not know that I am the proprietor of this shawl, but if you take it away, are you not stealing?
But maybe if I know it is yours and I take it, I am worse thief. Then if I do not know whose it is, I just think it may be nobody's and I take it.
That is also stealing because it must belong to somebody and you are taking it without his permission. You may not know exactly who the proprietor is, but you know it must belong to someone. Sometimes we see on the road so many valuable things left there. Government property for repairing roads or some electrical works. A man may think, oh, fortunately these things are lying here, so I may take them. Is it not stealing?
It is stealing.
Yes, he does not know that it is all government property and he takes it away. That is stealing. And when he is caught, he is arrested and is punished. So similarly, whatever you are collecting, suppose you are drinking a glass of water from the river, is the river your property?
No.
Then it is stealing. You have not created the river. You do not know who is the proprietor, but it is not your property. So even if you drink a glass of water without knowing to whom it belongs, you are a thief. So you may think I am honest, but actually you are a thief. You must remember Krishna. Oh Krishna, it is your creation, so kindly allow me to drink. This is honesty. Therefore, a devotee always think of Krishna in all activities. Oh, it is Krishna's. This is honesty. So without Krishna consciousness, everyone is a rascal, a thief, a rogue, a robber. Therefore, our conclusion is that anyone who does not understand Krishna has no good qualification. He is not honest, nor has he knowledge. Therefore, he is a third class man. This is not dogmatism.
Dogmatism.
This is a fact. So, if you have understand what is knowledge and what is honesty,
In a way.
and is there another way? Is there any other way?
uh,
Define it.
uh,
Okay. Is there any alternative? We do not say anything that can be defied by anyone. That experience we have. Rather, we defy everyone. Any questions? Till now, Krishna has given us protection. In big, big meetings in big, big countries, after speaking, I ask any questions.
no, I have none.
In London, we had a lecture for 12 days in Conway Hall. So after every meeting, I asked, any questions?
Did you get many questions?
Oh, yes. But many were foolish questions.
Let me ask you one more question. What is being foolish?
One who has no knowledge is to be considered foolish.
Prabhupada, I have one question. Can I ask?
Yes,
Some time ago in Calcutta, they observed a week named Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Week.
this is another foolishness. They are advertising prevention of cruelty, yet they are maintaining thousands of slaughterhouses. You see, that is another foolishness. They are regularly cruel to animals, and they are making a society to prevent it. It is as if a gang of thieves calls itself Godman and Company.
Yesterday, you said that the spiritual master may have to suffer due to the sinful activities of his disciples. What do you mean by sinful activities?
At initiation, you promised, I shall follow the regulative principles. If you do not follow, that is sinful. Very simple. You break the promise and do nasty things, therefore you are sinful. Is it not?
Yes, but there are some things we are instructed to do that, even though we try to do them, we cannot do it perfectly.
You try to do and cannot do. How is that?
Like chanting attentively, sometimes we try to, but
Well, that is not a fault. Suppose you are trying to do something, but due to your inexperience, you sometimes fail. That is not a fault. You are trying. The verse in Bhagavatam says that if a devotee is trying to his best, but due to his incapability, he sometimes fails. Krishna excuses him. And in the Bhagavad Gita 9.30, Krishna says,
apichet
Apiched
sudracha
sudaracharo bhajante mam anyana bhakti sadur eva samantaya. Someone may commit the most abdominal activity, but if
abominable,
abominable,
abominable.
abominable activity, but if he is worshipping me sincerely, he should be considered a saintly person. Sometimes one does something nonsensical unwillingly due to his past bad habits. That does not mean he is faulty, but he must repent for what he has done, and he should try to avoid it as far as possible. But habit is second nature. Sometimes, in spite of you trying hard, Maya is so strong that it trips you with pitfalls that can be excused. Krishna excuses, but those who are doing something willingly and not excused. On the strength that I am a devotee, if I think because I am chanting, I may therefore commit all this nonsense and it will be nullified. That is greatest offense.
Could you read this once again?
That is excused. Krishna excuses. But those who are doing something willingly and are not excused on the strength that I am a devotee. If I think because I am chanting, I may therefore commit all the nonsense and it will be nullified. That is the greatest offense.
Chapter 8, Advancing in Krishna Consciousness, an exchange of letters, Springfield, New Jersey, June 12, 1972. Dear Prabhupada, I offer my humble obeisances. I have been associating with the devotees of the New York Temple. With the association of such fine advanced devotees, I hope that I may make some advancement in Krishna consciousness. My fiancée has started to come to the temple and is chanting a little. She knew nothing about Krishna consciousness until I wrote her about it from India. Atriya Rishi has been kind enough to invite us to his home so that we may see an ideal householder life. I went to Bombay then of April for termination from the Peace Corps. I was fortunate enough to come down with a minor illness, so I had to stay in Bombay for 2 weeks. I spent the time with an advanced and kind devotees at Juhu. Unfortunately, you had left 5 days previously. I understand so little but I have faith in the process of Krishna consciousness and hope to take it to more and more. I look forward to Atriya Rishi's description of the temple in Los Angeles and hope that I may be personally hearing you in New York. Thank you for the kindness you have shown to a very undeserving boy. Sincerely, Bob Cohen. To AC Bhaktivedanta Swami, ISKCON Los Angeles. Bob Cohen, Springfield, New Jersey.
My dear Bob, please accept my blessings. I thank you very much for your letter dated June 12, 1972. I have noted the sentiments expressed therein with great pleasure. I am very glad to hear that you are associating with us. I know that you are very good boy, very intelligent, and your behavior is gentle. So I have all confidence that very quickly Krishna will bestow all his blessings upon you, and you will feel yourself becoming perfectly happy in Krishna consciousness. One makes his advancement in Krishna consciousness by voluntarily giving up his attachment to the material nature or Maya. Such renunciation is called tapasya. But we are not very willingly to perform austerities without good reason. Therefore, any man with a good scientific and philosophical mind, like your good self, must first appreciate what transcendental knowledge is. If you get knowledge, automatically tapasya will follow, and then you make your advancement in the spiritual life. So, to get knowledge is the first item for anyone who is hoping to find the perfection of his life. Therefore, I advise you to read our books daily as far as possible and try to understand the subject matter from different angles of vision by discussing it frequently with the devotees at the New York Temple. In this way, you will gradually become convinced, and by your sincere attitude and devotional service, you will make progress. Yes, having some faith in me and in the Krishna consciousness process is the first and only requirement for getting the actual wisdom. If there is faith, understanding will follow. And as your understanding increases, so will your discuss with the spell of illusionary energy. And when you voluntarily give up your entanglement in the material world, then the progress is assured. I think we are just now typing up the tapes of conversation we held in Mayapur, and we shall be publishing them as a book. It will be called Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. I shall send you a copy as soon as they are ready to distribute. Meanwhile, I shall be stopping in the New York for the 2 or 3 days on my way to London for the Ratha Yatra festival there. I am not yet certain what when I shall be arriving in New York, but it will be sometime in the early part of the July. You may keep in regular contact with Balimardana regarding the arrival date, and I shall be very much enlanded to meet with you in New York once again. Again, we shall discuss if you have any questions. Hoping this, we will meet you in good health and happy mood. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami.
So, our final chapter, Chapter 9, Deciding the Future, New York, July 4, 1978. Wow. I received your very kind letter about a week ago.
You are very intelligent boy. Try to understand this philosophy. It is very important. People are wasting so much energy for sense gratification. They are not aware of what is going on, what is going to happen in the next life. There is a next life, but foolish people are ignorant. This life is preparation for the next life that they do not know. The modern education and its university are completely in darkness about the simple knowledge. We are changing bodies every moment. That is medical fact. After leaving this body, we will have to accept another body. How are we going to accept the that body? What kind of body? This can also be known. For example, if someone is being educated, one can understand that when he passes his examination, he is going to be an engineer or medical practitioner. Similarly, in this life, you can prepare yourself to become something in the next life.
Barbara, Bob said. Can we decide what we want to be in the next life?
Yes, you can decide. We have decided that in the next life we are going to Krishna. This is our decision to go back home, back to Godhead. Suppose you decide that you are going to be an engineer or a medical practitioner. With that objective, you prepare and educate yourself. Similarly, you can decide what are you going to do in the next life. But if you don't decide, then the material nature will decide.
Could I have been Krishna conscious in my last life? Is it possible that in my last life I was a Krishna devotee and have come back again?
It doesn't matter. But you can become a Krishna devotee now. Take advantage of our Krishna consciousness movement. When one is perfectly Krishna consciousness, he does not come back. But if there is a little deficiency, then there is a possibility of coming back. But even though there is a deficiency, he comes back to be to a nice family.
Suchinam
Suchinam
Srimatam
Srimatam Geya
Gehe Yoga
Yogya
Prashto
Drashto Vijayate.
Vijayate.
Vijayate. The unsuccessful yogi takes birth in a religion or aristocratic family. So human intelligence can decide for the future. An animal cannot. We have discriminatory power. If I do this, I will be benefited. So if I do that, I will not be benefited. This power is there in the human life. So you have to use it properly. You should know what is goal of life and decide in that way. That is human civilization.
Have you ever seen Krishna?
Yes,
You have,
daily, at every moment.
but not in the material body.
He has no material body.
Well, in the temple here, they have pictures of Krishna.
That is not material body. You are seeing materially because you have material eyes. Because you have material eyes, you cannot see the word spiritual form. Therefore, Krishna kindly appears to be in the material body so that you can see him. But because he has kindly made himself just fit for your seeing, that doesn't mean he has a material body. Suppose the President of the United States kindly comes to your house, that does not mean his position and your position are the same. It is his kindness. Out of love, he may come to your house, but doesn't mean he is on the same level as you. Similarly, because we cannot see Krishna with our present eyes, he therefore appears before us as a painting or a form made of the stone or wood. And Krishna is not different from these paintings and wood because everything is Krishna.
After we die, what happens to our spirit?
You get another body.
Immediately?
Yes, it is just like when you change your apartment, you fix up your new apartment first, then you leave this one and go there.
So, do we know what type of body we will get?
Yes, provided you are qualified. Those who are qualified known, but for those who do not know, nature will arrange things. If you do not know, this means you have not prepared your life. So at the time of death, your mentality will create another body and nature will supply it.
If Krishna controls everything, how does Krishna control a non-devotee?
By Maya. Krishna controls this world just as government controls everything. A kingdom is controlled by the king's department,
And how does Krishna control a devotee?
just as you control your beloved. For example, if I have a beloved child, You control him for his benefit. If he is going to touch fire, you will immediately tell him, no, no, my dear child, do not touch it. So, a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, is never misled because Krishna is always guiding him. Whereas those who are not Krishna consciousness are in the charge of Maya, and Maya will do the needful, as you have seen.
Is the time that we will die, will die present when we are born? When I'm born, do I have a certain given lifespan?
Yes,
And he cannot change that?
no, he cannot change it, but Krishna can change it.
If he commits suicide, is that also present?
No present. That you can do because you have a little independence. It is not natural to commit suicide, but because we have independence, we can go from nature to our unnature. A prisoner cannot go out of the prison house naturally, but he somehow or other he arranges to jump over the wall and escapes. Then he becomes eligible for further imprisonment. He will be arrested again, and his term of imprisonment will be increased. So naturally, we cannot violate destiny. But if we did it, then we will suffer. But our destiny can be changed by Krishna when we are Krishna consciousness. We do not know it, we do not do it, but Krishna will do it. Krishna says, Ham
Aham
tam
tam
sarva
sarva
papyeyo
papyeyo
mokshashyam
mokshayami.
mokshashyamini. I shall give you protection. That changes takes place from for my protection. There are two categories, non-devotee and devotee. The non-devotee is under the control of material nature, and the devotee is under the direct control of Krishna. There are many employees in the big company, and they are controlled by the head of the company through different department superintendents. But although outside of home he controls his employees indirectly, the same man at home is controlling his children directly, but he is also a controller. Similarly, God is always the controller. When one becomes a devotee, he is controlled by God. When he is a non-devotee, he is controlled by God's agent Maya. But one has to be controlled. For example, every citizen of America is controlled by the government. When a citizen is all right, the civil department controls him. When he is not all right, the criminal department controls him. But he cannot say, I am not controlled. That is not possible. Everyone is controlled. If somebody says, I am not controlled, he is crazy. Everyone is controlled. So either you will be controlled directly by God or you will be controlled by his agent Maya. If you choose to be controlled by Maya, you spoil your life. You remain in material existence birth after birth, changing your bodies. But if you choose to be controlled by God, then after this body, you go back home, back to Godhead. Then your life is successful. You cannot exist without being controlled. That is not possible. Intelligence means to choose to be controlled by Krishna. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita.
Bahunam
Bahunam
janmanam
janmanam ante
ante jna
anta
ante jnanavan mam
mam prapadyate.
prapadyate.
After many births of speculating, one surrenders unto me. Vasudev Sarvam Iti. One
Vasudev
thinks
sarvamiti.
one thinks, Krishna, you are everything, so I have come before you. Please accept me. I am now fully surrendered unto you. So please control me. For so long I have been controlled by these rascal senses without any benefit. Under the control of these senses, I have served so called family, society, country, nation, up to serving the dogs. But nothing has gave me satisfaction. But now I have had the good sense to put myself under your control. Instead of being controlled by dog, let me be controlled by God. This is Krishna consciousness. Have you not seen how a man is controlled by a dog? In the street, the dog stops to pass stool, and his master will stand and wait. Is it not? The dog is passing stool and urine, and the man is thinking, "I am the master," but he is being controlled by the dog. That is Maya. What do you think? Has he not been controlled by the dog?
That is so.
But he is thinking, I am the master of the dog. A family man is controlled by his wife, his children, his servants, everyone. He is thinking, I am master. President Nixon is thinking that he is the master of country, but he is controlled. At once he can be dismissed by the public, his servants. At election time he will take a position claiming, I will give you very good service and I shall be the first class servant. Therefore, people vote. Alright, you become president. And he's advertising, re elect me. That means he is a servant, but he is thinking, I am the master. That is illusion, Maya. One who is controlled by the Maya thinks himself the master, while he is the servant. But a devotee never thinks, I am the master. Only, I am Krishna's servant. That is mukti, liberation. A devotee is never controlled by false thoughts. He knows his position.
Swarupena
Swarupena Vyavasthita. Mukti. Liberation means to be situated in one's own constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. So, if I know that I am the servant of Krishna, that is my liberation. And if I think that I am the master, that is bondage. This is the difference between the liberated life and conditional life. So these Krishna conscious devotees are always thinking that they are servants of Krishna. Therefore, they are all liberated. They do not endeavor for liberation. They are already liberated because they are situated in the constitutional position.
Prabhupada, some religious people claim that Jesus is guiding them. Can this be so?
Yes, but they are not taking the guidance. Jesus is guiding the Christians, telling them, thou shall not kill, but they are killing. So, how are they following Jesus' guidance? Simply saying, I am guided by the Jesus, but I don't care for his words. Will that do? Is that guidance? Nobody is being guided by Jesus Christ. Their claim is false. It is very hard to find a man who is actually being guided by Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ's guidance is available, but nobody is caring for him. They have taken Jesus Christ as contractor to take up their sins. That is their philosophy. They commit all kinds of sins, and the poor Jesus Christ will be responsible. That is their religion. Therefore, they say, we have a great we have a very good religion. For all of our sinful activities, Jesus Christ will die. Is that a good religion? They have no sympathy for Jesus Christ. If they they would think he died for our sins. Why would we commit sins again? Such a great life has been sacrificed for our sin. So we should be guided by the Jesus Christ. But they take it otherwise. Ah, I shall go on committing all sins, and Jesus Christ has made a contract to nullify all my sins. I will simply go to the church and confess, come back, and again do all the nonsense. Do you think that shows very good intelligence?
No.
One who is actually guided by Jesus Christ will certainly get revelation. But it is very hard to find a man who is actually being guided by Jesus Christ.
What about the Jesus freaks, young people who read the Bible very often?
But violence is against the Bible's injunctions. How can they kill if they are following the Bible?
They claim that the Bible says Jesus ate meat.
That's all right. He may eat anything. He is powerful, but he has ordered, thou shalt not kill. You must stop killing. He is powerful. He can eat the whole world, but you cannot compare yourself to Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. You have to abide by his order. Then you are guided by Jesus Christ. That is actual obedience. The Bhagavatam explains that one who is an Ishvara, who is empowered, can do anything. But that we cannot imitate. We have to abide by his order. Admitting that Jesus ate meat, you do not know under what condition he ate meat. He advised others not to kill, yet he himself ate meat. Do you think Jesus Christ was contradicting himself?
No.
He cannot do that. That is the real faith in him to understand that he cannot do that. So why did he eat meat? He has his reasons why, but he has asked me not to kill, therefore I have to follow. That is the real system. You are not Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. He has sacrificed his life for God. Can you do that? Why imitate Jesus Christ only by eating meat? Why not imitate Jesus Christ by sacrificing your whole life for spreading God consciousness? They are so called Christians. But what they are doing for God, consider how the sun is absorbing urine. Can you drink urine? If you want to imitate the sun, drink urine. Can you? Similarly, Jesus Christ is so powerful he can do anything. But we cannot imitate. We have to simply abide by his order. That is real Christianity. It is wrong to imitate a powerful man. Our Vedic literature describes that once there was an ocean of poison and no one knew who to do with what to do with it. The Lord Shiva said, "All right, I'll drink it." So he drank the whole poison ocean and kept in his throat. Now can you drink poison? Not the whole ocean, just one cup. Lord Shiva never advised that we drink poison. So you have to avoid by his advice, not to try to imitate him. These LSD and marijuana people say that Lord Shiva used to smoke ganja. But Lord Shiva drank a whole ocean of poison. Can you do that? It is Lord Shiva's instruction that should be followed, not his example of smoking ganja. When Parvati asked him what method of worship is best, he said, Vishnur,
Aradhanam Param.
Vishnur Aradhanam Param. The best worship is worship of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. There are many demigods, but he recommends Vishnu worship as the best. And better than Vishnu worship, he said, is worship of a Vaishnava. The exact word he used is
Tadhyanam.
Tadhyanam, those who are related to Vishnu. For instance, we worship the Tulasi plant. We do not worship all plants, but because Tulsi has very intimate connection with God or Vishnu, uh, we worship her. Similarly, if anything is intimately related with Krishna, worship of the thing is better than worship of Vishnu.
Why is that?
Because Krishna will be pleased. Suppose you have a good dog and some friends come and pats your dog and says, "My, what a nice dog do we have." Srila Prabhupada makes big patting motions. That means general laughter. You become pleased and think, "Oh, he is my good friend." You see, please have some prasadam.
So Prabhupada continues speaking with his guests, sometimes in English and sometimes in Hindi. This is last day in New York, and his plane to London is scheduled to leave in only a few hours. Bob has brought a car to drive Srila Prabhupada to Kennedy Airport. The devotees are skirving about bringing luggage to the car, putting the manuscripts of Srila Prabhupada's latest translating work in order, and making other last minute arrangements. Shamsuna. Everything's ready, Srila Prabhupada. The car is waiting for us.
So we can go now. All right. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are the concluding words. On July 19, 1976, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada accepted my wife and me as his disciples and initiated us with the names Bhakti Devi and Brahmarthdasa. As I reflect back on that day, I can see how fortunate I was to have met His Divine Grace and my God brothers in the Hare Krishna movement. When I was handed my beads at initiation, I promised to follow the regulated principles and to chant God's names daily. 4 years previously, Srila Prabhupada had advised me to follow these principles. He said that within 6 months I could be like the other devotees, all unnecessary things, anarthas, just mundane movies and restaurants would cease to attract me. The whole human life is meant for purification, he said. I was interested in being purified, even though I did not really know what purification meant. I had gone to India with the Peace Corps, hoping to find a higher level of consciousness. I could not believe that satisfying the senses was the all in all, that I myself was bound by the senses. Later, I could understand the yoga means becoming free from the dictation of the senses. Upon returning to America, I started graduate school in geology, got married, and became somewhat entangled in domestic responsibilities. But I would very often think of my conversations with Sri Prabhupada and of all his instruction. His private instruction was simply to associate with the devotees, and this I gladly did. Devotees are different. By understanding that loving service to the Supreme Lord is the goal of life, they avoid getting caught up in the petty affairs of sense gratification and false ego. Visiting the temple was most refreshing. Gradually, me and my wife and I became friends with many devotees and wanted somehow to do some service for the movement. I sponsored a Bhakti Yoga club at the university, and our apartment served as a way station for traveling parties of devotees. As we followed Sri Prabhupada's instructions, even our eating became purified. In India, I told Sri Prabhupada that I could not offer my food as the devotees do because I did not understand that Krishna is God. So he told me simply to thank God for my food before eating. This we did, and finally our devotion matured, and we started actually offering our food to the Supreme Lord. What a wonderful feeling to be cooking for the Supreme Lord! This actually freed us from the control of the tongue. Uh, Finally, we were ready to become involved fully in the temple life. By Krishna's grace, I obtained a job near a temple in Texas and began to take part in all the temple programs. In this way, all the anarthas disappeared just as Srila Prabhupada has predicted. It was like having a burden lifted from our shoulders. We were no longer servants of our senses, but servants of God and His devotees. While Srila Prabhupada's instructions had become clear, a human being is not meant to labor like an ass, enjoy like a dog. Purification means coming to a higher level of consciousness. Even though I have been initiated, I still admire my God brother's spiritual awareness and wish to advance. Actually, initiation is the beginning. Brahmardasa Adhikari, Bob Cohen, Houston, Texas, October 16, 1976. And about the author, sorry, no, no, yeah. So this was about this thing, perfect questions and perfect answers. So we have finally completed the 9 chapters along with the introduction and concluding words. So this was the session between Bob and Sri Prabhupada. I hope we have read it correctly. If there are any mistakes, please forgive us with all your good heart. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.